Judy, can I recognize you?
Are we talking about previous ones that we collected through the attorneys? And is that what we're talking about here?
You have something like $1,700
Right,
from previous income of the Lake Committee.
right.
And the board is suggesting that if you would like to spend that, we would entertain a proposal to do so.
Okay. So that means that the $2,000 that we had for this year, basically, we don't have. Is that what you're saying?
The board has just decided to reduce that budget by $1,200, yes.
Do you need to vote on that?
We haven't decided that.
I don't
Well-
think you voted.
On a personal level, right now wouldn't be a good time to stock the lake. I would say maybe in the fall would be a better time, so,
Okay. This might be a good time to start the research, though,
right,
on what species and what contractor and what cost.
right.
Yeah.
I think after any discussion, I would propose we leave the 1,200 for now. It would make our deficit 15,005 after the first quarter, so we can address that again as
Well,
season.
especially as Judy says, she doesn't need to spend it until at least the second or third quarter of the year, yeah. I have no problem with leaving it at this point.
All right, so Pat is proposing we leave this in the budget.
Yes.
Yes, I'm sorry. I'm proposing
And
that.
what's the will of the board? Leave it in? Leave it in? Leave it in later? And we're still asking the Lake Committee to put together a plan for stocking the lake later in the year. Okay, Judy?
We will.
Okay, thank you. So we're moving this and upping this to 15,502, which happened to be the number that's printed in. Oh, no, it's 14,502.
14?
That would have been too lucky.
Yeah, 15,502 is the projected deficit at this time.
And I think that is a reasonable deficit that we can clearly deal with. We clearly have the cash, if we were into the year with that kind of a deficit, to cover it without any pain. However, we have 3 more quarters to try to improve this, so we will.
We still need to discuss the clubhouse supervisor.
Pardon me. Yes, one more item. The task force decided to eliminate the clubhouse supervisor's position this year at $15,000. And that, by the way, is built into the 55,902. That 55,902 deficit assumes that the position will be eliminated. But John correctly points out that's a very important decision. We talk about not hiring a person, not filling a position. That's really something the board has to consider. Yeah.
A comment on that for you to think about just for a minute. The concept was that during the summer months, we had a supervisor downstairs who would be open 8 hours a day, 7 days a week. The proposal is to not to fund that. However, the board, at some point, this board, at some point before now, has approved the fact that people can get a electronic pass for $10 that will allow them access to the gathering room and the game room. So perhaps, assuming we eliminate this position, we need to publicize that more so that people will have the opportunity, if they wish, to use that room for what it was designated to be. So that's the trade-off. There's not going to be somebody there, but in theory, if you want to pay $10, it's not going to eliminate your access to the downstairs of the clubhouse.
Robin?
I think we have to think about safety for the kids. If kids get in here and there's no adults around, I mean, if mom just gives them the pass because they're down at the beach and there's a lifeguard at the beach and they need to go inside to go to the ladies' room and they decide to play billiards.
Outside restrooms.
I know there are, but they still, if mom gives them the ticket, they can come in. I think there's a hazard.
Shame on you.
They're at the beach.
The same thing happened in fitness room, and that's where you have the most traffic.
There's no reason that mom
Yes, but
should,
it's adults that use the fitness room.
It's family members.
there's no reason that mom should ever give that to to anybody. There's no reason for them to be in without an adult, ever.
And in fact, our rules prohibit it.
Right.
That's true, but we've stated that there's going to be adult supervision there.
We're gonna change it.
Now, when we set up that $10 key system, it was assumed that that would be used when there was no supervision present. And the rule is that nobody under 18, is it, Pat? Can be in there alone?
16,
16?
Is anyone signing anything to that effect? I mean, because assumptions can be made, and if they send the child in there and something happens,
You could put that in your little.
Yeah, that was the agreement that in order to apply for one of these, you had to sign.
Right.
That stipulation was.
then we're covered.
Yeah.
Well, so far, I think only 2 of them sold.
But I think now, if we're gonna have that closed and only open that way, you'll find that there's more people who will apply.
Any other discussion of this matter? I hate to take an action item within a report section, but I think we're going to have to in this one because there's some perhaps disagreement. So I'm going to move that the board endorse the task force's recommendation to remove the position of clubhouse supervisor this year. Any discussion of that motion? All in favor? Okay. Pat, was your hand up or not?
I voted for it, yes.
Okay. Well, this is not unanimous, so Ken's gonna have to get names.
I'll get the opposed.
Opposed? So, Ray, do not hire a clubhouse supervisor this year.
So noted.
One final is, I think we're finished on this aspect, are we not? We don't have any other motions hidden. I just want to make one final announcement for those of you who have the position of either chairing a task force or a committee or board liaison there too. It's that time of year again, and tomorrow I'm going to issue a call for 2009 budget inputs. So, and I will send you a schedule as to when I need your inputs, and I would really hope that in keeping with the board's desire to really scrub the 2009 budget, that each of you give a lot of thought to your budget submits and be prepared to present justifications for all of your budget submits to initially to the Financial Management Task Force and then ultimately to the board if it comes to that. And that completes my tab discussions.